It's the Steelers Talk mailbag here in Week 7, and I'm guessing some of the questions here are going to be pretty spicy given that we're filming this on the Steelers Talk live show on Friday, just about 24 hours after the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm guessing passions are high. I'm looking forward to the questions today, though. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to join the most interactive community of Steelers fans anywhere on the YouTube platform. We try and do our best, guys, to keep you involved in the conversation. We do these mailbags every week on our live shows. We also have daily community posts and polls for you guys to engage in. Also, we'd like to engage with you guys on the live shows and on the watch parties, all that great stuff. So if you guys want a place to come hang out, talk Steelers ball every single week, a place to come watch the football games as well. We have the largest watch parties anywhere on YouTube for Steelers fans, so make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, if you're looking for an interactive fan experience, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. All right, so now let's start with Smootest Buddhist. $5 says, do you think it's only a matter of time before the jumbo looks get shut down? I mean, we'll see, but I really don't think so, Smootest Buddhist. And, I said this a couple weeks ago, where I predicted that Aaron Rodgers was going to start throwing the ball down the field more, the more success that the Steelers have with these jumbo personnel looks. And what has happened the last 2 weeks? Against Cleveland and against Cincinnati, the two games where Aaron Rodgers has thrown the ball down the field more often, it's been more explosive, all that great stuff. And why? Because these jumbo personnel looks were on one end of the offensive line. You got 4 players equaling 1,000 pounds of human being that can also move. And then you got Jaylen Warren, who can make guys miss and, can take advantage of the blocking that size advantage brings to this Steelers run game. So the run game looks phenomenal. They're moving the ball very consistently on the ground, which, of course, is opening up single high safety opportunities for Aaron Rodgers to rip deep shots to DK Metcalf and hit seam shots to Pat Freiermuth and get the ball to Jonnu Smith. And even Aaron is doing a great job, with the off-schedule playmaking now, and his feet look super quick back there for somebody of his age. So, yes, Smootest Buddhist, I think that this is sustainable. They've been able to do it against 2 top 10 defenses in the Vikings and the Browns, and then they completely killed a bad defense, as they should, in the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. So I think that these jumbo looks are here to stay. I think the Steelers offense is humming right now, and I don't see any signs of it slowing down. Then we got $2 from Bernard Nixon, says, when's the last time the offense has looked this good? I'd probably say since the 2017 season, when the Killer B era was kind of coming to a close in terms of their peak. So I'd probably say 2017 there, Bernard, is probably what my answer would be. So true or false? Let me know down there in the comment section. This is the best Steelers offense since 2017. Since the Killer B era, this is the best Steelers offense. Type T if you think that's true. Type F if you think that's false. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section for today's pin question. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time. But letting me know if you think this is the best Steelers offense since the Killer B era. Then we get to Jacob here. It says, if the Steelers blow this lead and end up 10-7 first-round exits again, do you think they get rid of Tomlin? No, I don't. I think listen, man, like as long as they're making playoff runs and getting to the playoffs, and as long as they're winning double-digit wins, I don't think they're going to get rid of Mike Tomlin. Now, maybe Tomlin, especially if Rodgers retires, maybe Tomlin's like, hey, trade me somewhere, get a first-round pick for me. I want to change the scenery. Maybe that's the case, but I highly doubt that. In my opinion, Jacob, in order to get rid of Tomlin, the team needs to miss the playoffs, and they have to really embrace a full-blown rebuild in the future. So that's going to take 9 wins at the very most, 8 wins, 7 wins more likely. So this team and this season's really going to have to go off the rails, in my opinion, if the Steelers are going to get rid of Mike Tomlin. And if they get rid of him because they have so much money left on his contract, I think they'd rather trade him away so that another team is on the hook for his contract. And also, the Steelers could easily get a first-round pick in exchange for Mike Tomlin. Future Hall of Fame coach, all this stuff. There's a lot of teams that would give up a first-round draft pick for the stability that Mike Tomlin would theoretically bring to their franchise. Then $5 here from I'm Lee Huncho. Says, how soon do you think the wide receiver trade will happen, and why do you think we'll draft a QB over Will Howard next year? In terms of the wide receiver trade, I'm not even 100% positive they make one. I think that they're certainly shopping around to see what kind of deals they can get, but if we know Omar Khan, he's not going to do something unless he feels like A, he's desperate to get a receiver, which maybe he is, but also B, if it's the right price. And we've seen that throughout his time as GM, is that he doesn't like to budge off of his number. And like he knows what the value is for that particular player in a trade for this franchise, and he's not willing to budge off that number. So we'll see if there's somebody that fits that bill, but Roman Wilson showed some good things against the Cincinnati Bengals. It looked, the last 2 weeks, he's had some crisp routes. He's had reliable hands. He's looked pretty good to me, and I'm hoping he can get some more opportunities. And Calvin Austin's coming back here, and they're using Pat Freiermuth more. They're using Jonnu Smith. They're using DW. Like, they're using, the plethora of weapons they have here, especially at the tight end position. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a trade for somebody. I would love to add a Jacoby Myers or a Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed, but we'll see if any team is willing to take the Omar Khan price to make a deal happen. In terms of the quarterback with Will Howard, he's a sixth-round pick, and I think his ceiling is probably capped. I think probably his ceiling is someone like a Derek Carr. He actually reminds me a lot of Derek in his play style, kind of a stiff throwing position. He's got some good arm talent, can throw the ball down the field, but the accuracy can be spotty and the mental processing can be spotty with him. And he's not the greatest out-of-structure playmaker. So I think his ceiling, in a conference with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Drake May and all these superstar quarterbacks, I feel like the Steelers probably want a quarterback long-term that has a little bit of a higher ceiling. So it certainly seems like the Steelers are stockpiling picks to take their quarterback round 1 of the draft next year in Pittsburgh. And I certainly understand why people love Will Howard. I love Will Howard. I'm wishing the best for him. But at the end of the day, he's a 6th-round pick, and the Steelers don't necessarily owe him anything at this point. All right, so now, before we get to the rest of the questions here in the Week 7 mailbag here on Steelers Talk, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Prize Picks. You and I, we make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football season is here, and you better believe I'm getting my Prize Picks lineups in all season long here with professional and collegiate football. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks also offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And a new feature from Prize Picks that I absolutely love is injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and does not return, Prize Picks will not count that as a loss. So here is my Week 5 lineup for the National Football League, or for Prize Picks here, or for professional football. I'm taking the more on passing yards for Dak Prescott, the more on rushing yards for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and the more on pass plus receiving yards for Jaden Daniels. So if you guys want to get a Prize Picks lineup in here this week, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Got one here from Czar Craig, says, do we have any clue of why the Steelers are refusing to make Jabrill Peppers a bigger part of their defense? Probably because they see him more as a true strong safety, and they view Deshaun Elliott as their strong safety. That's the only thing that I can think of, because the idea of having Chuck Clark as your starting free safety, it boggles my mind, man. He's not nearly fast enough to play that role, in my opinion. I think we saw that last night versus the Cincinnati Bengals, where he missed multiple tackles. He was out of position in the run game. Chuck Clark is a backup safety at this point in his NFL career, and they're playing him starter-level snaps. I can't explain it. For me, if I am Mike Tomlin or Darrell Austin, I'm playing Jabrill Peppers way more on defense than they have over the last few weeks. Now, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are a real one, really do appreciate all the questions that you guys are putting in here this week. It helps out the channel, helps out the video, helps get new eyes to the channel here, guys. So tell the YouTube algorithm that you're enjoying our content by clicking that thumbs up icon today. Got another one here from Smootest Buddhist. Says, you think there's any good QBs upcoming? To me, they all look not good enough. Maybe the LSU guy. I think when you look at this class from the perspective of the guys that were supposed to be good and were hyped up heading into the season, Cade Klubnik, Arch Manning, Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier, Lenoris Sellers, all these guys that were supposed to be first-round picks are underperforming this year, right, guys? And I think that's where Smootest is coming from. But there's also been some very pleasant surprises, all right? Fernando Mendoza, out of Indiana. Now, I think he was a little bit more highly touted, but not a lot of people knew his name heading into the year. Then you have Ty Simpson from Alabama. Phenomenal quarterback for the Crimson Tide. Would love for him to be the next starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dante Moore, super easy and fun arm talent, a great playmaker out of structure as well. Really like his skill set, and then Lenora Sellers, as a project type guy where you draft him, develop him, and then sit him for a year and play him in year 2. I think that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they bring back Aaron Rodgers this year, would be the perfect place for a guy like Lenora Sellers to develop in the National Football League for a year. We'll have to see which guys come out for the NFL draft this year, and of course we'll have to make a determination then. But I like some of the kind of pleasant surprises that we have seen in the college football this year. Then we got one from Grady. He says, do you like the way Aaron is leading this team? I have seen multiple moments between him and his receivers where he is yelling at them. Also, the incident of Broderick Jones tackling Rodgers. It's just, I would have been pissed at Broderick if he would have tackled me that way. He's a 300-plus pound human being, and I'm not nearly his size, and he's taken me down by, the neck. I can understand why Rodgers was a little heated in that moment. Also, listen, man, people aren't doing their jobs. I want somebody that holds people accountable. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers holding these guys accountable? Or would you rather have Aaron Rodgers say, or Russell Wilson saying, "You're all good, King. You're all good. We're all good. It's all good." It's no, it's not good. You didn't do the thing right, and we're not just going to coddle you all the time. You are paid to play the game of football and to do your job correctly. If you don't do your job, it's important that, there's accountability from the leadership, from the players inside the locker room. And Aaron Rodgers provides that. And you know why he's able to do that, guys? It's because the players respect him. It's because he's really good to the guys in the locker room. He's very friendly with them. He invites them out to his house in Malibu, right? He does all these different things. And, he treats them with respect. He treats them like adults. And, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. And I actually really appreciate that about Aaron Rodgers, where he's not going to mince words. And it's listen, man, the margins in the NFL are super small. We saw that this week versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Just one play and the game can be over, okay? And Aaron Rodgers understands that. And Aaron Rodgers has a great urgency to finish his career on a high note and to try and get this team to a place where they're winning as many games as possible, putting themselves in the best position to win playoff games this year and go on a run to hopefully try and win a Super Bowl this year. So that's his focus right now. And if people aren't doing the right things, I have no problem with him kind of correcting that behavior a little bit by saying, hey, what the hell are you doing? You got to do this the right way. So maybe that's not everyone's cup of tea, but nobody complained about it when Tom Brady did it in Tampa Bay. No one complained about it when Tom Brady did it in New England. He did it consistently. He yelled at his players all the time, and people said it was a great thing, showed how great of a leader he was. But with Aaron Rodgers, it's not so great, right? So you can see the double standard. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. What position, if any, should the Steelers address ahead of the trade deadline? Do they still need a receiver? Should they go get corner now? Should they get a replacement for Broderick Jones at left tackle? What say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. And that'll be it for today's edition of Steelers Talk. Thank you so much for listening to my answers to the questions on this week's mailbag. If you guys want to get a question on a future mailbag, we usually go live every single Tuesday and Thursday, and we film the mailbags on Thursdays. So make sure you guys join us here on Steelers Talk. Click that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.